All right, here's a couple of good quadratic equation questions. After decline between 40 and 80 has been increasing since 1980. The function is that can be used to estimate the number of multiple generations in country A in millions, X years after 1940. So then they say, in what year were there 40 million generational households? That looks like a dandy question. So they are wanting us to put 40, that's million. That's like X is how many years after 1940. But this 40 is supposed to go in where H of X is. Because that's the answer to how many multi-generational households. So I'm going to have 40 is equal to 0.012x squared minus 0.543x plus 35.726. Okay, I have to make it equal to 0, so let's subtract 40 on each side. So I get 0 is equal to 0.012x squared minus 0.543 minus 4.274, I think. Hopefully. So that's a quadratic. Love to be able to factor that. There's a whole lot of decimals. I'm not holding any hope. So then I'd go and use, they want us to round to the nearest whole number. Oh, I can do that. So if I can't factor, I'm going to try the quadratic equation. Minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this is a, this is b. Oh, I needed an x there. And this is c. Okay, so plug your numbers in. Now, and you can do that, and that's the way I'd want you to answer that. Another way to check that is using decimals. So if I bring in a browser here, whoops, and I want to plug, let me move this up a bit. So I want to plug that function in right there. And what I'm looking for is where it crosses the x-axis. That's going to be my answer. So y equals 0.012 x squared minus 0.543 x minus, minus 4.274. There we go. Okay, so here's an x-intercept right there. So I would call that one minus 7. But that doesn't make any sense in terms of since 1940. So let's go onto our graph and move it over a bit. Maybe I can shrink it. I'm wanting that point over there, right there. 52.088. So that would be my x value. 52.088. And try using the quadratic formula and see if you get the same number. You should get pretty well the exact same number. But now the question said X years after 1940. So it's 52 years after 1940. So it'd be 1940 plus the 52. So it'd be 1992. So they say, in what year were there 40 million? 1992. Here's another good quadratic equation question. So they give you some metal, and they say make a box out of that. So you cut the corners like this, and then you can fold up the edges, and you'd have to weld or do something in the corners to keep them upright. But they want to know what that distance is. So they want it to be a square, so that distance and this distance are the same. Same everywhere. But now they say from this corner to this corner is 60, but they say that the area of the base inside here is 1296. So I want to know the distance from there to there. It's not 60 because that's the whole way. But if this is x and this is x, then this distance here will be 60 minus the two x's. Using the same logic to get this distance, because it's this rectangle we're looking for right there. So the top side is 60 minus 2x. This side here is going to be, from there to there is 30, so it'll be 30 minus this x and this x. So now I can use the formula for the area of a rectangle. I know the area is 1296. The length is 60 minus 2x. And the width is 30 minus 2x. Let's FOIL that. 1800 minus 120x minus 60x plus 4x squared. It's a quadratic, so let's bring everything to the right side and put it in the right order. So it'll be 4x squared minus 180x. If I subtract this on both sides, I think I get 504, positive 504. Now I think all those numbers are divisible by 4, so it'll be x squared minus 45x plus 126, I think. Now I just have to factor that. So you can try and factor it, but you can also use decimals. So if I fire up decimals here, and I want to graph that function. So y equals x squared minus 45x plus 126. Okay, where's it cross? Oops. Oh, that's not a cross, it's down here. Whoops. 3 and 0. 42 and 0. So if I was factoring that, I'd use 3 and 42. So this would be x minus 3, x minus 42. Because the product would be 126, and if you add them together, you get 45. Following the zero property, be x is 3 or x is equal to 42. When I look at my picture up there, there's no way that this little x piece in there is going to be 42, because the whole distance is just 30. So x must be equal to 3, and that's what they're asking. It'd be nice to know what the whole length is too. So from here to here, I would like to know what that is. I know from here to here is 60, but it'd be 60. This distance inside there would be 60 minus the two x's. And if x is 3, it'd be 60 minus 6, or 54. Same thing on the other side. I don't think they're asking you this, but if you do that, you come out to 24. And just to check, if you want, you can multiply those two, see what they come out to. It better be 1296. Hopefully that helps you with those two questions.